Greetings, listeners. My name is Sam, and I'm going to be your assistant today in this episode of That Time We Woke Up in a Podcast and Had to Explain Manga, our heated adventures overanalyzing manga that we find interesting. Thank you so much for volunteering to participate in today's experiment. We will be subjecting you to Franken Fran, Volumes 5 and 6 by Katsuhisa Kigitsu. Please remain calm. It's important to get a good baseline, and enjoy the show. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Over Manga Cast. My name is Sam, and we're back in spooky season, everybody! Woo!
Woo!
Yay!
Yay! Come on, Jake, have some enthusiasm.
Don't mind me. I may have just made a Faustian bargain with this weird doctor lady. If I turn into a hideous monster, just continue the episode without me.
Oh, that is thematically appropriate because we read Franken Fran. As always, here at the top of the show, we talk about our familiarity with the franchise that we read. I haven't read anything since the last time we did it, which means it's been over a year, and yet it feels like it's been barely any time at all. Fran just has that energy that you pick it up, it's like riding a bike. How about you, Matt?
Yeah, like always, I have read the entirety of this series. I was reading Frantic. I don't know if that's still running, so I should maybe check that out, but...
There you go. Jay, how about you?
I have also read the entirety of this franchise, and I look forward every year for the opportunity to revisit it because I love it that much.
And Jacob.
Actually, as it turns out, I'm pretty sure I, for our last reading, read the next chapter, because my bookmark was in Volume 5.
The ability to count failed you.
It's not the first time that's happened, and it probably won't be the last.
Definitely not.
But yeah, no, I mean, the thing about Franken Fran is it's the kind of series that you kind of want to binge a spooky season and then not really bother with, because whilst it's great, it is also kind of one note, which can result in it becoming, if you overexpose yourself, well, you're able to overexpose yourself with this kind of thing. It's not the most bingeable thing in the world, at least not the totality of it.
Well, hold on, someone alert the media. Horror series might occasionally be one note.
Horror comedy anthology series might occasionally be one note.
No one tell Tales from the Crypt. They must never know.
Impossible. But yes, it's a Franken Fran, so we've got a whole bunch of wacky vignettes, and we open up this one with Amazon Island.
Just literally Amazon Island.
Yeah. It's a very succinct way to frame it. It is an island of apparently darker-skinned women who are ginormous and appear to only be females. In fact, they freak out when
they see just the head of a man.
Yes.
I love the setup for this is not Fran is going to do some weird doctor nonsense and ruin life for these women. It's Fran's father, the good doctor who is only seen off screen in this show. After World War II was just like, you guys hate men because of the terrible things that were done to you during the war.
Yes, we do.
Okay, well, just going to make you able to adopt children. No. We want biological children. Oh, that's a much more difficult problem to solve.
It makes me wonder, like, if they started from a large population of women, I'm assuming, yes?
Maybe. It's unclear.
Yes.
It is unclear.
They're morning geckos is what they are.
Yeah,
yes.
The professor's answer to this went counter to what I thought was going to happen. It's as Jake said, they got parthenogenesis. So it is an island entirely consisting of clones of one or several women. It's
however large the population was. They just clone each other. Or are clones.
So the backstory for how this island got set up seems to imply it's a group of women who came together after the war to like make their own society. The author's notes at the end of the volume seem to indicate it was a single person. So
that's why I'm confused.
I'm gonna say I think the author's notes are wrong. I think the mangaka wrote those when the volume was being published and misremembered their story.
Which could happen.
Fair.
I would do the same, to be real, which is why death of the author is important. But that Fran just comes here regularly to give checkups because the problem with parthenogenesis is no genetic diversity. So, all it takes is it's a shockingly delicate ecosystem that they've got happening here.
A plague can wipe out the entire population in less than a generation.
Yep. So it's an all or nothing gamble. And the Amazons, we have some shenanigans. We have the Amazons try to fight Veronica because they're pugilistic giant muscle women. There is a lesbian orgy.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? The main plot occurs when a ship passes by and they're like, wait, we're so incredibly remote we don't even appear on satellite. How is a ship here? Fran, were you followed? Oh, crap. Hold on. Well, if they followed me, I'll go deal with it so you guys don't have to start a war. Ho there! Foreign vessel, what brings you to these waters? We're here for women.
Bring out the women.
Okay. Well, we've got lots of them over there, but it's just going to cause bloodshed. Who are you? We're from the island of only men. Oh, crap.
This is both terribly convenient and terribly inconvenient.
It's hilarious because essentially they move into some kind of speed dating arrangement, and it goes.
That's some speed dating is what happens.
I love how this is the most characterization we get for the Doctor, and that's he's even worse than Fran.
He did the exact same goddamn thing for an island of dudes that was like within a day's sail.
I love how you're like, hold on. That doesn't make any sense. You can't do the exact same thing for dudes.
Shut up.
Where do the babies come out of?
Would you like to know?
They have a single line that's just thrown away and then they don't go into it any further. Ah, thank God we have women. We won't have to use manta rays anymore. What?
So basically all of Fran's worst tendencies are based off of Dr. Madaraki.
But she's an improvement. She is a slight improvement.
That is a very low bar.
And very slight.
To be fair, Dr. Madaraki didn't make a mistake. Both of those societies worked.
Mm-hmm.
They did. It's actually, I think, if we had to pin it on someone, it was Fran. She inadvertently screwed everything up because they had the audacity to follow her one day.
So wait, if you've been existing here just fine this entire time, why do you suddenly feel the need to get women? We're tired of melons!
I understand, sir. That's all you need to say.
Op thought I was lacking, so I cut a hole in the watermelon and stuck my...
I, at this point, was just happy that none of them tried to, like, attack Fran. So I'm like, geez.
Yeah. Pleasant surprise. But Fran negotiates an exchange, cultural exchange between the islands to introduce the Amazons to the Isle of Men, and it goes off like a charm. They all become friends. They get very intimate very quickly. The queen is petitioned for more men because we need to increase the number of participants.
I love the panel that's two of them going on a date and the bush full of women all just looking on with envy.
Yeah, it's like we need more participants.
Oh,
okay.
And Fran's just like, well, I had a good small scale success. Better immediately just industrialize the process.
Yep.
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, what could possibly go wrong is infidelity immediately happens, and since these are pugilistic warrior women, they
do not take any. This is no.
A domestic turns into a murder.
Yeah, as you do. Actually,
he did punch her because one of the men is accused of sleeping with
her like cousin or something, or her sister.
He slept with her sister, and then his retort is, "Well, you slept with my cousin," and her retort to that is, "So what?"
I'm stuck with you because your cousin was taken.
Damn. Ouch.
He punches her, she stabs him, tale as old as time, it repeats, there is brutal violence.
Or it's accusation, punch, stab, and then page turn to decapitation of multiple people.
Well, I will say this. It is not false. He does, as Sam indicated, admit, yeah. Yeah. We just cheated on each other.
They're all cheating on each other and all getting defensive. And society naturally crumbles into every single person killing every other single person.
It's a very brutal 2-page. Like, villages are burned, people are hung and decapitated, eyes are stabbed out, dicks are chopped off. It's nuts.
Yes.
Well, actually, just the shaft.
Nuts are all that remain. So with the population having been slaughtered to a man, Fran returns for the yearly checkup, finds the abandoned ruins, and finds one shockingly newborn-looking baby.
Yeah, the time scale of this does not make sense. Don't think about it.
I was just saying, that's a pretty fresh baby, so just like you were saying, like timeline-wise, everyone was slaughtered. Obviously, somebody survived long enough to give birth to this fresh baby.
No, see, the war of the sexes lasted that entire year, and that kid got born guts style.
I was gonna say one of the manta rays came by.
Oh
Hey guys, what's going on? Oh no!
But this naturally conceived child of the Parthenogenesis people is a hermaphrodite. So what does that mean? Fran has no idea, but it sure will be interesting.
Makes sense. It makes sense, right? You have these two populations which were able to essentially asexually reproduce. What do you do if you slap them together? Snails.
They said snails. You know what? Yeah.
So to be fair, Fran does technobabble a little bit about how like true sexually compatible hermaphrodite is really not a genetic boon, but it can be a specialization that comes about through an intense evolution cycle, seemingly implying that these two groups of people naturally evolved to not need sex at all, considering what it did to their culture.
It's weird.
I don't know if I would agree with that, because obviously they were very curious about getting to know the opposite sex.
They didn't need it, but they wanted it, and then they got it and screwed everything up.
Yes, sex does screw.
Because they didn't learn about emotional boundaries. Because they didn't need to previously.
Yeah. This had the opposite effect of when Enkidu slept with the divine prostitute. Instead of civilizing them, it made them more brutal.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should, especially not when you have like muscle-clad Amazonian women.
So instead of being Adam and Eve, one of them should have been Shumhot, is what I'm saying. Anyway, that's that chapter.
Fascinating chapter.
It sure did happen.
I love the note for this chapter has the mangaka just go, the original concept was for the leaders of both tribes to have been brother and sister.
That worked, because weren't they already like multiple generations of this happening?
It is unclear.
It is unclear, and there are multiple generations of clones, so I'm not sure.
It wouldn't have caused any genetic drift anyway.
They would have all been brother and sister.
With that, we move on to, hey guys, you remember Sentinel?
I do.
No.
I remember a Kamen Rider reference. Are we doing the Kamen Rider reference again?
We're doing the Kamen Rider reference again with Justice Squared. We have a second Sentinel, a young man named Jumonji, who wants to follow in the first Sentinel's footsteps after he mysteriously disappeared. So he goes to Fran for genetic enhancement.
And really, this is where I start questioning, how did these people find Fran?
Right?
Like, it used to be only millionaires, but now this is literally just some loser. Like,
I mean, she seems to travel by word of mouth, right? Like everyone like whispers of, "Oh, Madaraki."
A lot of weird shenanigans have been happening in the city lately.
But he was saved from bullies by the original Sentinel. I love this. It's classic Franken Fran extreme, because instead of just like a cool Sentai fight where he punches them, it cuts from him from the Sentinel walking up to him murdering them all with a pipe. Like this is the Magnus archives. I am Sentinel, ally of justice. Remember it, citizen. Wow, he murdered my bullies. I want to be just like him.
mm-hmm.
So he trains super hard and then has Fran give him the Space Marine procedure, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he gets like a loan for a bike, and it's just like, man, all the equipment you need to be a Kamen Rider is actually very expensive.
I love it. He's sitting in the garage calculating the time and money he's sunk into this, and he's just like, well, finally, after several to get my license and taking out a loan for this bike, I can become Sentinel.
I appreciate him for doing it, the responsible way. Yes.
Yes, because responsibility is the main element of the story.
Yes. Responsibility would have you not going to Fran. Let's be honest.
And I mean, he does well. He patrols around. He finds a girl who's been kidnapped. He kills a monster, and then goes back to Fran for his checkup.
Well, it's important because the girl that he saved on his first excursion says, "You must help me. My father was kidnapped by an evil organization called Black Lotus. They're trying to destroy the world." I'm just like, okay.
Who says this? Like, who in their right mind says this?
His first night out as Sentinel, he runs into this perfect setup for a Sentai storyline. I'm half convinced Fran sent a mutant and some rando she kidnapped and brainwashed out just to make him feel better. But no, it just starts an entire Sentai storyline in the background. We see him getting
he gets to Black Lotus headquarters, and it gets really weird.
He explains this at the yearly checkup, or at the checkup with Fran that Matt talked about. Are there any concerns you'd like to bring to my attention? Well, not about me, but about all of the monsters. Why are there so many monsters? Well, if you're concerned about the monsters and what they're trying to do, you could just go, I don't know, attack their headquarters and ask them. Great idea, Miss Fran. Thank you. That's Dr. Fran. Okay, he's gone.
And then we get to the headquarters, where the Black Lotus's evil plan is to be as wholesome as humanly possible, so that humanity will destroy the world, I think.
You don't understand. Humanity is a virus, and we are creating an ideal situation for it to thrive. And it is the cancer that will destroy the world.
You see, by developing medicines and performing charity and building infrastructure so that babies will survive childhood and the elderly can live long lives, we will cause such incredible overpopulation of the fractious and violent humanity that the world will be sucked dry and soaked in blood. All we need to do is help you destroy yourselves.
Also, Sentinel, we brought all the families of the people you've killed. They're just totally pissed off at you.
You killed their fathers and brothers and husbands.
And wives. We're not sexist here.
Yeah? Wait, I've been attacking charity organizations? Yes, it's amazing you didn't notice sooner.
Well, I guess I'm going to keep attacking charity organizations.
It's not even that. He then thinks that, like, Doctors Without Borders is a Black Lotus psyop.
No. What he's doing is he realizes humanity is the sickness that's destroying the world. So he's going out to stop humanity from thriving to save the world. And I know that's the interpretation because, spoiler alert, you should have done the reading. There's a sequel to this later where both previous Sentinels are villains.
Yes.
So
I love how this chapter ends. He goes out into a desert where there's an aid organization delivering water, and it's like, oh, thank you. With this water, we'll save so many lives. Oh, I'm gonna do my part, ma'am. Hold it right there. I know what you're really planning to do. I will destroy your precious water tank. Cut to Madaraki Manor and the news broadcast. An act of terrorism occurred in this country in Africa at 3 p.m. today. Many reports are still estimates, but casualties are numbering in the...
What's that? I wonder what that's about. I don't know. I'm not responsible for this, says Fran.
I want to know what she's doing in the background there. She's got somebody strapped up to some headgear.
You don't need to know, Sam.
Who knows?
I'm scared to know.
Me too.
You don't need to know.
Anyway, the next chapter is really just, hey, let's send Veronica to school.
Yeah,
And have some action scenes.
This is the funniest one, in my opinion.
Like, there's not even really a plot here. It's literally just set up.
I was kind of like, what? Why?
It's what if Franken Fran did like a Saturday morning like TV show plot where it's like, I need to live
a normal life, except here's an assassin who just kind of shows up.
Also, the like whole bit is that
instead of doing like comedic stuff to protect the secret identity in wholesome, non-destructive ways, she hides bodies.
Yeah, the entire gimmick here is that Veronica immediately killed the person who would have been like the main antagonist for this like Saturday morning girl school mystery solvers club.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire like, oh no, the ghost is actually this guy who's doing crimes. It's like, no, the ghost is actually the still moving corpse of this dead body Veronica's been trying to hide so she doesn't get arrested.
Why is the body still moving? He's got regenerator cells. How do you know about that? Fran has them. So how does this guy have them? Fran's an airhead. This probably leaked. Oh, you're right.
That's a disturbingly plausible explanation for this.
Because Okita's with her as the fun sidekick.
Mm-hmm. I love in this very wholesome, like, just like mystery solvers club kind of deal, there is a murder, and then immediately a bunch of girls come over to her room and bring a bottle of booze to just get wasted.
You do.
Yes. Because
nothing to see here.
She was really concerned that there was going to be a trap when she arrived at the school, and all these like private school girls were very friendly to her. And no, the girls are 100% genuine. They're happy to have a new friend and introduce her to their little gang. It is the secret anti-Madaraki organization running the school in the background, I guess. That's
just a thing in this chapter.
I mean, Veronica had a chapter like that previously. Like, this is...
I'm not saying this is unprecedented. I'm saying it's weird.
The comedy comes from the fact that this time the anti-Madaraki force didn't contrive this. It's a complete coincidence.
So yeah, long story short, Veronica kills a bunch of people and prompts a whole bunch of ghost stories about an already viewed haunted place. And Fran's just like, ooh, ghost mansion, we should go.
No, let's not, please. I've traumatized my new friends enough. So yeah, that one was fun. The next one, whale. Schoolgirl whale.
Not schoolgirl
Wow.
yet.
I was about to say, Schoolgirl whale was the opposite way around in volume
last
3.
time, yeah.
Where that woman wanted to fuck a whale.
But a boat in the middle of the night runs into something and the water fills with blood. And the next day, a gigantic humanoid corpse washes ashore. And Fran and Dr. Amatsuka are there to investigate. And it's like, well, she's got a significant amount of blubber and massive lungs, so she's probably like a whale. Like that last giant kaiju? Yes, like that. Except a more evolved one, because she's very humanoid instead of a blob. Well, I think we need to do some studying. Hey!
Have you seen Godzilla vs. Mothra? I'm that guy!
Some guy wanted to fuck Mothra?
You mean you didn't?
We're just gonna leave that one on its own.
And one of them claims to be the owner of the island and everything in the surrounding waters by his family owns this area. So the gigantic corpse washing ashore is his by legal right. And he's going to turn it into a tourist trap.
And Fran's like, hey, you know what would be a better tourist trap? A living giant person.
Franken Fran doesn't care that this guy's got a tourist trap. Franken Fran's just in it for the weird medical science. But
Yes.
she's also completely willing to go, yeah, no, I'll bring that corpse back to life so you can keep it as a slave. I don't care. I don't got morals.
You can do that? Yeah, I can do that. Probably.
Well, the thing is, I have a feeling that Fran knew that the ending of the story would play out the way that it did. That, like, if I revive this thing, it's just going to walk away. So yeah, spoilers. The schoolgirl element comes from the guy who owns the beach being like, yeah, I'm gonna put her in a schoolgirl outfit. And Fran is like, well, I revived her, and
she's just gonna leave. She's 30 feet tall. You can't stop her.
Also, she was covered in hickeys. Also, I'm gonna demonstrate this on Veronica because why not?
Why not? I gotta say, we got some actually pretty good badass panels. I really like Fran unveiling her multiple arms with scalpels to begin the operation. That looked freaking sick. The actual operation itself, where they're using like cranes and stuff and massive
2 liters of dopamine.
2 liters of dopamine. Her regular heart is too damaged, so we have to lower in the artery. Why do you have that?
Why wouldn't you? Don't you have a giant artificial heart?
It's very Meet the Medic. Why do you have that giant heart in the fridge with Spy's severed head?
They end up having to replace 40% of the body, so we've just got a corpse of Theseus on our hands.
But with the artificial heart functioning normally, the giant is resuscitated and put in a schoolgirl outfit because the guy really thinks that would help attract tourists to pay him lots of money. But yeah, like Matt said, she's covered in hickeys and a whole bunch of dudes, giant dudes raised out of the ocean.
She's a very popular lady, and as anticipated, they were gonna come after her, which I think it's actually a good thing that, this is me speaking, I think it's a good thing that she was revived, because if she was
might
dead,
have had words.
They might have had words, and that would have, been a bad vibe.
A bad time for all parties involved.
Yeah.
Yep.
You killed our woman.
We will destroy you. You can't stop us. We're huge.
As recompense, we will take one of your women. Oh, this won't work.
This won't work at all. So Mr. Tourist Trap gets stepped on, and that's it. End of chapter. Happy ending.
Happy ending.
That's actually one of the most unambiguously good endings in all of this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, a guy dies, but like,
he was kind of a
he
dick.
literally jumped under the foot to get himself killed because he's an idiot. That's a Darwin Award.
He was going to take advantage of this creature, of this woman, for his own profit. Whether she was a corpse or she was alive, that was his mission.
It's also kind of strongly implied that he was falling in love with her.
Yeah.
I could see it. I didn't quite get that read, but I see it.
Huh, actually, I just thought about it. She was covered in hickeys as a corpse, which means when that boat hit her and she died, probably in the middle of a heavy makeout sesh. That is unfortunate. That's the way to kill the boner. Anyway, speaking of boners.
That's not this one.
That's not this one. You're right. Next chapter. My wife has plenty of emotions.
Arguably too many emotions.
It's really funny how this is essentially just my wife has no emotions. But like in a way that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because the company doesn't pretend like people aren't eating the robots.
They capitalize on that, yeah.
Fran is talking with a
man who looks like every man in Franken Fran.
Yes.
Generic man.
One Takahiro Morita. He's part of a robotics company trying to create technology on par with the creation of human life. Do you think we could do that, Dr. Madaraki? I don't know. Why are you trying to? Because I'm Mr. Freeze. Ah, I see.
Well, If you're doing it for true love, I will literally cross every medical boundary for you.
Again, she's a sucker for love. That's how you get to her.
Now, you see, my expectation here was that considering they basically like zero system a brain to like do the whole like machine is the wife now, I was expecting the wife to wake up.
Me too, right? I expected that too. Like, they make the homunculus and download the wife's brain into it. And then, the wife miraculously gets better from her incurable disease.
Probably because of Fran.
And now suddenly we've got this...
Which one's the real one?
Gene therapy or something. I was just like, if this is like an incurable disease, couldn't she like... I don't know.
I mean,
probably.
They specifically do say, like, she's been losing memories for years at this point. So, like, that's why they rebuild her personality from, like, videotapes and stuff.
Yeah, so, like, it wouldn't be perfect for her to wake up. She wouldn't fully remember everything, but still, it's like, I really expected the wife to wake up and suddenly we're playing Soma.
Well, yeah, because the idea then would be... like. We shouldn't dwell on this too much, but the idea would be, is the actual literal real original one more the wife than the robot with the memories, because the robot has the memories that makes her the wife, etc., etc. But no, the wife is just dead.
Yeah. The wife is just dead. The robot wakes up. She recognizes him. They're happy to be together. We'll be together forever. And then we cut to the Future Technology Expo, where the amazing RR-23 unit is shown off.
And it takes Japan by storm.
The CEO and his robot wife seem to continue to be happy for a few pages.
Everyone's getting the robot warranty.
Everybody's getting the robot warranty because the RR-23 proliferates throughout society.
Yeah, because they have a really like nice scene in the middle of the chapter, and you're like, oh, well, this is Franken Fran, where the two of them are connecting, and he's just like, wow, we can finally be together again. And then it cuts to, oh, they just mass-produced that personality, and now people are installing fake vaginas to fuck their robots.
Yeah. That's a natural progression.
It's like every time I see a robot in fiction, I'm like, if you're going to have a servant class, why would you give them the ability to feel like
emotion,
feel put upon? That's so unbelievably cruel. Like,
yeah, and it gets worse because Mr. CEO has kind of moved on from his wife's death. And now he wants some of that good old flesh and blood again.
Which is crazy, because it's like, hello, you've essentially created a human consciousness. How is she going to feel about all of this?
That's kind of the thing, though. I think she is portrayed as literally being a facsimile of the personality. Like, she is literally just the personality.
It's hard
kind of
to
the
say.
Problem.
Because one of the things that happens is the original robot, the like test one that Fran created that he created with Fran's help, doesn't seem to move from the chair that she's in. And like, she has some lines, but she really just repeats his name and saying that we'll be together forever, which kind of implies that she's in like a loop or something.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad about that, because it's like, instead of like trying to get her fixed, you just like literally cover her up with a sheet.
Tarp over.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, at some point, at what point do you go, the uncanny valley is not something I can deal with? Like,
yeah,
because like I don't know. My read on this is that is not his wife is the problem. Like,
it's not, but like, it's close enough, and it's close enough for the robot to feel hurt by the fact that it is being left behind for another woman. And when he and this blonde are out on a date,
they apparently have a hive mind, because this really is my wife has no emotion.
They see one of the robots, and then the robot sees them on a date and begins to follow him. And because these robots are ubiquitous, a bunch of them see him and start to follow him and are refusing commands. So and this guy, oblivious that he is,
walks several blocks, I can presume, with a horde of robots following him and people freaking out, only to finally be like, something's wrong. Oh God! As he gets ripped apart by the insane robot.
He's eaten for some inexplicable reason.
Because that's what you do.
Yeah, there's lots of cannibalism.
I love how they bring the body to Fran and she's just like, oh my, you put a tarp on him and everything. And then she rips open the tarp and one of the, his wives has embedded herself into his chest. They're like, yeah, we couldn't pull her out.
Unfortunately, he's dead already, so we can probably rip her off at this point. What do you think we should do, Doctor? What do you think we should do, Micah? I want to be with him forever. Okay, I can do that. Prepare the operating table.
Which, I don't know. It's literally the same line she's been repeating the entire time. So it's like, there's a lot of nuance to what's going on here. And
yes.
Yeah, my read of this was, because the thing it's setting up is, this is a love that transcends lifetimes. And it's like, that's true for her, but it's not true for him. So when she died, he moved on.
Yeah, and then, because Fran accepts the request of anybody who walks into her office, she accepts the robot's desire to be with him forever. So she turns him into a robot too, and locks them both in a chair sitting next to each other.
Also, Fran, for some reason, uploads his personality code onto his work computer for some reason. Like, seemingly,
wow, he's dead and he's still working. What a workaholic.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, seriously, if Fran really does know what's going on, like, most of the time. I wonder.
Because that's the only way someone's getting this code is if Fran... Because presumably he took her personality and built the robot. Fran... He's dead, so Fran must have submitted this to get upload. Or maybe the company is building the robot, actually, because that makes sense. I don't think Fran built either robot.
It's implied that the company is like, stereotypical, I just care about, profit, and I'm going to milk all of it for what it's worth, like evil corporation kind of vibe. So yeah, that's kind of what I felt like happened.
Fran helped with the programming of the OS, like the digitizing of the brain. So I'm pretty sure she no, you know what it is? She obeyed the wish of the robot that was clinging to his chest and digitized his brain. And then she's like, well, I don't actually know how to make the robot. So I'm going to send this information to the company that makes the robot and they'll do it.
But I'm going to pretend like I'm him.
Yes. So that they'll do it.
Meanwhile, the two CEOs are just like, man, good thing he had this data for a male version of that robot on his computer. We'll make billions. Too bad we've had to spend so much time covering up the fact our robots murdered him. Oh, well.
Yeah.
And then it ends on a women am I right joke.
Yeah, see those two robots sitting together? They're like husband and wife. Yeah, especially because he looks scared of her.
My read on this is that because his brain was still alive, Fran got like an actual full complete version together for him.
She actually somaed him.
Yeah. Meanwhile, she was always just like a facsimile because it was too late to like get the full essence of her. She just created a copy, and that copy was never going to be good enough for her husband, who loved this woman since they were in like grade school together. Like there was something not quite right about her that caused him to drift away, but she still fully believes that she's in love with him. And now he's stuck there being an actual person.
Yes, he has a full human consciousness.
Locked in with this thing that murdered him.
Yeah.
That sounds like Franken Fran.
Very Franken Fran. Now it's time for Fran to get Gen Z brain rot and give a man Riz.
Yes.
He gets Aura.
That's je ne sais quoi.
Or is that Alpha? Or is that Gen Alpha? Brain rot? I don't know.
Brain rot? That's Alpha.
It's whatever the kids on the TikToks are saying.
It's Alpha. Got that Riz.
He's got to have that Riz. Guy comes to Fran and it's just like, I want to become an actor, and I need to be able to get into. I need to break my way into the industry. Well, you're already pretty handsome and talented, so I don't know how I can help you. Well, yes, but I have no charisma. How do I give you charisma? I don't know. You just need to give me aura. Okay.
Yes. You know, these completely abstract concepts. Just give it to me.
Fran should really have a sign on the front of her door saying, please don't come to me for abstract concepts. It will never go well for you.
That would require Fran taking responsibility for her actions. That's never going to happen.
Yeah, I do love how these stories like set themselves up as if they're like Aesop's fables with an evil djinn who is punishing people for their like arrogance and greed. But it's really just Fran not knowing what the fuck she's doing. Like...
Yep.
Hey.
And not thinking the consequences through.
You gotta fake it till you make it. She's like the pro of this. It's all about just having the confidence.
I mean, objectively, this guy didn't do anything wrong. Like
He didn't.
Yeah. So how do I give somebody aura?
Pheromones.
I suppose I could use pheromones. The human nose doesn't really have the capacity to smell pheromones, is the thing.
Nah. I'm gonna operate on his ball sack.
So I can't actually give you pheromones in like the strictest sense. Instead, I'm going to have you secrete a nerve gas. A what? Don't worry about it. I'm a little worried about it.
I feel like she's been reading too much fan fiction.
But he's given a gland that causes him to emit a chemical that interacts with the human hypothalamus, creating feelings of happiness and excitement in those that are in proximity to him. And it works very well, even on Veronica and Adoria. And he has to rapidly flee out of the Madaraki manor.
Fran knockout gases everybody.
Yep.
The fact Fran sees this go horribly wrong in front of her face and just goes, well, yeah, well, you can just leave now. I'm sure that was a one-time fluke. That's not going to repeat. I'm like, Fran.
Don't be in enclosed spaces.
Fran, you're negligent, but this is just insane. Like,
listen, nobody in the outside world is as dangerous as the girls I've got here at the manor. He'll be fine.
But yeah, unfortunately, his career takes off. He's in a bunch of movies. Everyone's just like, wow, so cool. But
so cool, so handsome, kind of a shit actor though.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean success. I mean, look at modern TV now.
Take that. Topical.
Topical indeed. But yeah, he's not got the acting chops to impress people who are on the other side of the screen unaffected by the pheromones. And unfortunately for him, his attraction aura has become so strong that instead of getting acting jobs, he becomes an escort.
So host clubs are essentially escort services. They can go dial up to like 11, or they can just be like a parasocial relationship.
He's being ridden by a tiny man as his wife watches in one
Denji's dream.
Well, he is naked except for some cat ears and a collar.
Yep.
And a leash. So I think
what appears to be a chastity belt.
Oh God, you're right.
This is exactly what you think. It's that kink.
So he goes to Fran and is just like, you need to take this damn thing out of me. I can't do this anymore. Your organs are a little screwed up on the inside. I'm sure that's fine. I've removed the pheromone gland. You should be good to go. Except Veronica.
I just had questions because I was just like, how do I dare ask?
Yep. Fran is real dumb in this chapter. I'm going to say it right here. Like, she is uncharacteristically dumb. Like, she literally just goes, your organs are all messed up. I'm not even curious about that. Well, don't let Veronica jump your bones on the way out.
Apparently, his body is now naturally producing the pheromone. So the one alternative is to use plastic surgery to make him ugly. way, even if people are affected by the pheromone, without his handsomeness, he will. They won't want to do weird sex stuff with him.
Unfortunately, this proceeds to not work.
We're in love with the real Yu Yukizaki, and then more cannibalism. Why is there so much cannibalism?
That's not cannibalism. That is an orgy, Sam.
Yes, that is a cannibalistic orgy.
He is bleeding from several bites.
Yeah. You don't understand. They like the real you.
I don't think that's blood. I think that's censor mark.
No, there's definitely blood there.
It's blood.
Yeah.
There is blood and censor mark. There's lots of both.
It's just so much fluid going on.
In a big, sweaty mess of naked old rich people.
Yeah, what the fuck is that one lady on the side doing? That's the only...
Just stop. Just look. The more you look at it, the worse it becomes.
She's the one who seems to be drawing blood with her bite.
Yep.
He's also bleeding from the mouth, though, so don't know how that's happening.
I don't think that's blood. That looks like a censor mark.
There's a big censor mark, and then there's a smaller trickle that looks like blood. We're litigating this far too much.
We are.
It is an old person orgy. I really don't. Hey audience, just checking in. How's your car ride going? Do you have this on really loud blast as you're stuck in traffic? What do the people put the windows down? See what the people next to you think about this old person orgy you're listening about.
Yeah, please. I want to know what the cashier at the McDonald's drive-thru thinks of that.
Do they think it's cannibalistic or not? But we're doing some audience participation.
Make sure to sound off on Twitter @OverMangaCast.
Have you been an old person cannibalism orgy? Send pictures to @OverMangaCast.
So this one is actually the rare two-parter because we have a follow-up chapter. And I know what you're thinking. When we saw clips of that one TV show that he was in, that was a real anime girl-looking manga character, even for all these manga characters there with him. How did that happen? Is that just an art mistake? Did Veronica actually have something going when she said that she was his lover? Who knows? I have a completely fridged conspiracy theory that Veronica was super into him just before the pheromones, because at one point Fran asks the class who they like, and before Veronica can stammer what she has to say, Okita cuts her off and the whole pheromone talk happens. And then there's the whole thing with Veronica trying to jump him after the pheromone surgery. She could be his lover. And I'm like, okay, is Veronica actually with him? Nah, that's odd. That wouldn't happen. And then we get this chapter. And Veronica's the most like kind of chibi anime girl of the entire crew. So I don't know. I'm grasping at straws.
I'm going to be real honest. I didn't realize this was supposed to be the same guy.
Yeah, it is. Because it's the same movie. Same movie poster.
How does the timeline work for this?
This is during the other chapter.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know why they do this, but
if anything, it would make more sense for the second one to whatever.
It would make more sense for this one to come first. Yes.
Well, I guess because she's super into him because of the pheromones, I guess.
Probably.
Yeah, because so the sequence of events is she already liked him. Pheromone surgery happens. Now she really likes him, so she becomes a 2D girl.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
then the end of this chapter happens, and then the rest of the other chapter happens.
Gotcha. I think it's a little weird that I don't believe his like weird otaku fetish came up in his chapter.
It really didn't.
It didn't.
That would have helped me remember they were the same character.
True. True, very true.
I don't think it really matters.
It doesn't, but I understand how it could be confusing.
This is her story.
Yes, and she wants to become a 2D anime girl for the man of her dreams, because he's an otaku. He's not a stereotypical otaku. He just buys figures and DVDs and related merchandise.
Dresses up in a disguise to go buy his figurines.
Well, I mean, he has a noticeable face. Is also why, like, dude, people will recognize you.
I like the really, like, crudely drawn Asuka figurine that you can clearly see in the box he's looking at.
Yeah. Legally distinct Asuka. But she's like, I want to become like an anime girl, and because this is a love sob story, Fran immediately agrees and starts performing intense plastic surgery to anime girlify her.
I mean, this entire chapter is literally just, if you've ever seen those anatomical drawings of what an anime, like a moe girl would have to look like her bone structure to be, this is what this chapter is. It's just like, so we're going to make your eyes bigger and we're going to remove your jaw.
Yep. We're going to have to get rid of your entire upper teeth and make it a flat, like, solid plate, because otherwise your palate's just not going to work.
We need to completely remove your nasal bones and move everything together.
Also going to have to shorten your tongue.
Do you want your entire existence to be pain? Be an anime girl.
As long as he loves me.
Yeah, not only does he like it, but also the media loves it because she's getting interviews, she's on magazine covers.
Yeah, Fran goes on her little, like, soapbox near the end of going, like, yes, well, anime and manga have become more popular, so clearly that is the current status of beauty. These unattainable 2D perfection women. And I'm just looking at Franken Fran with her already huge eyes. Okay, manga. I see what you're doing here.
I did love the little author blurb at the end of the volume where he's like, I already draw manga characters. I wasn't really sure how I was going to alter her design to make it apparent that what changes were taking place.
Works, though, because Franken Fran is definitely, like, manga and therefore, like, idealized and not totally accurate proportions. But it had, because of all of the like surgery scenes and the gore that's done, there is a level of anatomical accuracy that can be broken with this character, because this is a magical girl character she turns into.
I love the magazine cover she's on, because she looks just horrifying. Like,
oh yeah, she just looks wrong, and apparently she also has to sleep in a like
a saline bath.
A Ghost in the Shell looking ass bathtub.
Yeah, so that she puts no stress on her muscles so they can atrophy into nothingness.
So just like the guys like it.
I'll be as close to 2D as I can possibly be. Also, Dr. Madaraki, please, you have to make me durable enough to be able to have sex. No. No, you would break like a twig.
If it's for true love, I'll do it. Fran, stop.
So Yukisaki and 2D girl, they go to finally do it. She goes to shower beforehand, takes a boatload of pills.
There's no way that's the amount of pills Fran told her to take. Like,
and she asks him to turn off the lights. He goes to light up a cigarette, and by the light of the open window and his lighter, he sees that from taking all the pills, I can only assume, her skin has begun to hideously dry out and all her hair has fallen, so she's a gray alien.
Sam, she's also grown horribly in size. Like,
yeah, she's massive now.
This is a plot that was for this whammy panel, and then makes no sense otherwise. Like,
so she had to have known the effects, right? That's why she has.
No, she didn't listen.
Ah.
There's no way she listened to Fran telling her how to actually do this.
She also took way too many of her pills. Like,
and apparently it's Yukisaki goes on TV like, aliens are real, I'm telling you. I tried to butthole.
Aliens.
What? Why do you keep insisting that I tried to finger your butthole? Just believe me.
They be probing out here.
If they say we had consensual sex, it was I don't remember.
And then there's sightings of an alien in the streets. eating dogs at night or something.
I was about to say, it's not Franken Fran unless I mentioned dogs are being eaten.
It's not Franken Fran unless it ends with rumors of whatever crime against God and nature she created becoming an urban legend. Yeah, with that done, we head into our next chapter. I just really like the way this one opens. Because Nerdy Boy is about to go commit Sudoku by jumping off the top of a school building, forgets to wipe his hard drive, goes to do that and slips, and only survives because he crashes into Fran.
And I know what you're thinking. Why is Fran at this school? I am going to answer that with the amount of care the manga does. So moving on.
Thankfully, Fran saves his life, and it's like, so you were trying to kill yourself because you were bullied? So, how about you tell me about your problems? Well, I've always been so weak, and with my girlish face, they keep beating me up, and I don't know what to do. Okay, well, what if I made you really swole?
I'm
sure, let's try that.
So she gives him some protein shots over the course of a week, and he gets SpongeBob anchor arms.
All I can think about is, oh my gosh, the stretch marks.
Yeah, seriously. And I love the page turn from him being Muscle Man to immediately him getting kicked out of him again.
Immediately getting JoJo stomped.
Yes, turns out just a magically appearing muscles does not help you be able to use the muscles.
Oh, it's so good.
So Fran's like, okay, now we'll use regenerative cells because this has never gone wrong before.
Never, ever, ever.
With the power of the regenerative cells and their responsiveness to imagination.
You know when Fran gives the warning up front that something's unstable and there might be a risk? There is like a 200% chance the risk is going to happen. Like, this is...
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, people don't live long enough around Fran to understand her patterns.
She's been at this school for like 6 years is really the other problem.
Well, she's already a doctor. You know, what else is she going to do?
Actually, given the amount of time that passes, and there's a vague mention of her being a transfer student at one point, I think she's just cycling through the different high schools whenever she feels like it.
There is literally no reason.
There's no reason. This is just her hobby, I guess. You know, I
love how midway through this chapter, they cut back to Fran in her office as if that's what she does all the time, because it is. And then it ends with her back in her school uniform for no reason.
Well, it's so she can get the rumor of the horror against God and nature.
Oh my God, she goes to school just to get teenage girl gossip.
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
100%.
So dumb. And then she couldn't do it, so she sent Veronica to go get her teen girl gossip for her.
She needs the tea.
So these cells will respond to your imagination. Think happy thoughts, okay? And over the course of a few days, he becomes tall and handsome, and he's very good at studying, and he's super athletic, and he's strong, so he can beat up all the bullies. And isn't this great?
Oh God, my arm!
I had violent thoughts about this fight, and my arm's swollen up like I was the damn Hulk. I need to control my thoughts. I better walk home.
My arm's all swollen and hard. Swollen and hard. Swollen and hard. I need to find a police girl right now.
This poor policewoman. Jesus Christ.
Yep, because it's that one again.
It's the same girl every time. She's literally walking home saying, man, I haven't run into Madaraki Fran in a while. My life has been so calm. This is great. I almost don't have PTSD anymore. Oh God, a tentacle monster.
And by tentacle monster, we mean a man with an octopus for junk.
He's got what ladies crave.
She fires her gun, which
prematurely.
Yeah, which snaps him out of it so he can run away, and he's like, oh God, I got too horny and I almost became a tentacle monster. I must become as cold as possible to never have any sexual thoughts ever again, including ignoring the actual, like, important character we haven't mentioned at all this chapter, the girl who definitely wants to fuck him.
Konoha-chan, his childhood friend.
His childhood friend, who's always been there for him, encouraging him all of the bullying. She's so smart and cool and pretty and studying and athletic, and I've just been emulating her, which is why I've become like this, because of the reactive cells. Huh. Well, I guess she is what I have been looking for all this time. Hey, Mario, did you, because his name's Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that Konoha-chan had a boyfriend? She has a boyfriend. Oh no, life is meaningless. I must return to Slug.
Also, the girls who tell him this were the girls who were just previously hitting on him. So,
he might be a bit gullible.
Also, his name is Mario, and he is introduced by Goomba Stomping Fran. So,
his name is Mario, and he turns into a collection of mushrooms.
Yes.
He turns into a sea squirt so that he can merely exist without needing to think, because life became too painful.
I feel that, man. It's not the answer.
And Konoha's like, but I'm not dating anyone. Those were just rumors.
Well, here, have a musk.
So sad.
I made a perfume out of him before he moved away to another school.
Yes. No, he went abroad. He transferred to an international school.
He went to the farm down the way.
So now she has the mad science musk derived from her childhood friend.
Yep. And it's like, yes, that was the one thing remaining of the human being that was Mario. That must have been what love is. And that's a really nice ending for a Franken Fran chapter. And you're like, man, that's actually really just not nihilistic at all, or like kind of just needs an extra bite at the end. Really good on you, Franken Fran. You're learning to be better. Oh, what's this on the very end of the volume? Turns out Franken Fran ran into Mario's mother, who is now a billionaire, and says, man, you made me a fortune with that perfume you made out of my son. I've got a friend who would love you to turn her son into a thing that makes perfume.
Ma'am.
What
is wrong with these people?
They live in the Franken Fran universe.
Yep. And once you live in the Franken Fran universe, there's really no going back, I guess.
There's no hope for you, as demonstrated by our end of volume bonus chapter, where I believe this is the original Sentinel. He's begun to hideously mutate. And Fran's like, well, there's no known way of reversing it. So sit tight and I'll keep looking into it. Great, I'm going to be a hideous monster forever. Well, I'll just go to this cafe in my cloak so I can sulk. Oh, hey, it's the other Sentinel. Notice that I'm a monster. I'm going to kick my ass now. And original Sentinel is just like, man, he's stealing my thunder. I'm gonna go join Black Lotus. And that's it. The tale of Sentinel continues, and thus ends volume 5.
Woohoo!
And I think that's a good point for us to take a quick break, because I don't know about you guys, but this is about it's too much at the moment. I need some water.
We need to experience the consequences of our actions.
We need to sterilize.
Nah, I'm good. I'm not going to do that.
Anyway, we'll be right back.
Ew.
Wash your hands. And welcome back to the show, folks, where last we left Fran. She will now continue to do Fran things. We're going to Disney World.
Yay.
I do like the cover for Volume 6, because like all of the Franken Fran covers do the whole like sexy, scantily clad female character on the cover, and then you open to the first page and it's a horror panel.
She's Vicar Amelia. This is a Bloodborne reference.
It's the new character. It's the new character in Fran just looking at the new character, and then you open, and it's the new character. It has a transformation sequence we'll get to, and it's Fran running away. I don't know why that one I find so amusing, but I do.
It's the Fran actually run, I think, is what does it.
But yeah, first we got to go to Disney World, where Fran has made living mascots with sharp teeth for some reason.
Very, very sharp teeth.
I don't think they initially had sharp teeth, but
yeah, she made living mascots. And the company is very happy with them because they are so lifelike. The kids love them, and then the bite of 87 happens.
Was that the bite of 87?
So girl gets her head bitten off, and then the entire theme park becomes a zombie horror show. We had some good Samaritans take down one of the mascots, unzip it, find that it's just meat. It's organs inside. And it's a classic zombie scenario.
Yeah. Also,
basically,
to clarify, this is the same mascot from the mascot she did previously.
Yes.
She's just expanded it out to the entire company.
Yes, she has. And so we've got the classic scenario of a small people locked in a place waiting out the zombies. One of them has already been bitten, so it's like, we have to kill the infected one. No, we can't. Oh no, he's transformed. He's turned into one of the mascots and has started eating people.
Legitimately one of the most horrifying scenes that isn't a little girl getting her face bitten off by Mickey Mouse. Which also happens in this.
It's very horrific. He turns into a duck and rips a woman's head off.
He turns into Glick the Swan, the good friend of mice.
I just love how the news reporter, who I don't recognize from a previous chapter, but they specifically mentioned she's from one, so I'll take their word for it. She specifically goes, "Not Glick the Swan. That's Nezura's best friend."
She's like, no, not the Sanrio character I like.
Because it's established that her ringtone is a song associated with these mascot characters right before the zombie transformation.
So it's established right after, I thought.
Right before the boy transforms, he gets more calm because he hears the ringtone.
Right. And then they stab him.
Yeah. Well, the ringtone stops, so he continues transforming, and then, the stabberating.
They find out that music soothed the savage beasts. They run to the broadcast center, and they crank up the park sounds to make sure the music constantly plays. And I'm just like, what amusement park doesn't have music constantly playing? But
yeah,
I guess they turned it off.
So that the plot could happen.
I love the guy who does the zombie movie valiantly sacrificing himself, going like, "No, go on without me." And the reporter's just like, "Oh, not him." And Fran has already just ignored that guy ever existing.
Yep.
I was given consent, so I can do whatever I want.
She tries to stay for the guy who's being ripped limb from limb and is already too far gone because he's saying, "No, don't leave me." And then the guy's like, "Don't worry about me." And he's very eminently savable. Fran's got her priorities.
She does.
So does the owner of the amusement park.
Because as they project the music and it sets the living mascots back to parading, it's like, so we're going to shut this place down, right? What are you talking about? We covered up all the massacre and now we're making more money than ever because we've got more mascots.
Yeah, because as we established, in the weirdest kind of throwaway, hey, we need an explanation for this. This needs to be medical horror, not just horror. Fran goes, this mountain valley, that's why those protesters were saying that this mountain valley was sacred and not to build things here. It's because it really held an ancient race of parasites that when people would come here would infect them and cause them to blow up. Like a god's curse. But now, these parasites who love order in their natural environment have found order within an amusement park. And they are now parasites of the amusement park itself. I'm setting down a metaphor. Makes you think, right? And then the CEO of Walt Disney Company comes, yep, this amusement park has always been a parasite on people who love our product. And then it just ends right there. Like it literally ends on that panel. And I'm like, Franken Fran, never stop being.
You're being too subtle.
Franken Fran, he just says the moral and then hard cut to black.
I know authors who use subtext and they're all cowards. So, we've had Veronica for a while. Time for another Fran's sister.
Woohoo! Well, to be clear, Veronica is her sister or a creation?
She's a creation of
Dr. Madaraki.
Dr. Madaraki,
Okay.
so she's a sister.
Veronica is the youngest sister.
Baby.
She is the
Yes.
baby.
She is baby of family. And she is lured to a hotel by a coded message from the doctor. I'll go up to this room. Wow, I knew he trusted me. Fran bringing me out on this secret mission. Oh god, this room is full of blood and has a scary lady in it.
Oh my god, the doctor is dead. And we get introduced to my girl.
The best girl.
Girl ever. I would be terrified to meet her in person, but she's pretty awesome.
Oh, my girl who is wearing literally full leather biker outfit with like metal braces on her legs and arms. And when I say full leather biker outfit, I mean that's it. She's literally just completely butt-ass naked underneath the leather pants and like unzipped biker jacket.
I mean, what are you expecting for her to wear? Like, really?
Nothing. Exactly. But I just love how Veronica comes into the hotel room, sees this woman just eating a body, going like, so the dumb brat finally arrives. That damned old fart's latest toy. You reek of pussy. Gross me right out.
Damn. I don't even know how to respond to that.
Did you kill the doctor? I'll stab you. Yeah, but what if I caught your blade in my teeth? I didn't stab at your mouth. I stabbed at your shoulder. I know. What?
Now you are bifurcated.
Oh, yeah. So
So Fran shows up under the exact same circumstances, finds Veronica's ripped apart body, makes a little chibi her using the available pieces.
keep her brain still alive.
Yep. Veronica wakes up and she's teeny now.
Even more so.
And then we find out that Gavril, the oldest sister of the Madaraki trio.
Daughters.
Yeah, daughters is a better way to
Yeah.
phrase it.
There might be more. Who knows?
Is the head of a biker gang that has taken over this hotel because I guess she's decided she wants to kill her sisters now.
Because they have money and she wants it.
Yeah, kind of.
It's also just because she feels like it.
Yeah, it's also that.
But they essentially do the plot of Die Hard.
Yep.
In the very Franken Fran way, where these like biker gangs are just roving the hotel looking for them, and Franken Fran, yeah, and Franken Fran keeps killing them. Then goes, I don't feel like hiding this entire time, and like sews a bunch of them together in some kind of horrible monstrosity.
Yeah, because Veronica is also creeping through the vents, picking off guys one by one, collect more corpses for Fran.
Yeah, Gavril has her own secret weapon.
Because this culminates in the most Franken way possible of Gavril sitting on her throne in the main hall when suddenly an amalgamation of arms stitched together reaches out and kills all of her henchmen. And it's literally just a panel of this like mass of bodies sewn together crashing through a wall and some guy just going, holy shit. And it will forever be, if I need a panel to show someone what Franken Fran is, this right here.
That is the panel. Gavril sees this and she's like, ah, sweet, finally some action. Cranks the dial on her head and turns into Vicar Amelia from the hit game Bloodborne.
She's a werewolf, is what
Yes.
Gavril's thing is.
She's a transformer.
Yes.
I know what that is.
And I love how they provide a little bit of explanation behind her. She is not technically a werewolf. She only chooses that because it's the most convenient or most effective form that she can take.
Yes.
Yeah, she can turn into whatever she wants, but because of the nature of the transformation cells, it's hard to maintain one's mind. So that's the reason why there aren't more creations of Madarakis that are like this that we know of so far.
So, unfortunately, since she quickly overpowered Fran's homunculus, how are they going to get out of this? Fran cuts off her lower body, hides a bomb in her own pelvis, and when the werewolf runs in to attack her, gets blown the hell up as Fran just arm walks away into the night like, yeah, that blast was enough to kill her. We are going to have to do so much work to put ourselves back together, Veronica. This sucks.
Sam, I feel you're really doing a disservice because you skipped the main part, is that Gavril was tracking Fran down by ever the violent lesbian, tracking the smell of that puss. So Fran literally just chopped off her bottom half as a diversion.
Yep.
Oh,
It's pretty great.
yeah, and like, this is actually the most damaged Fran has been at the end of something, because it's like her walking away on her hands, tiny Veronica like following behind as they're just like sneaking away.
Yep. This is the most back foot Fran has ever been.
But yeah. Next up is a trip to the beach that makes you old. And by old, I mean dead.
Doesn't get much more old than dead.
Exactly.
Well, it might not be the beach. It might be the jellyfish or something. I don't know.
I don't know. It's like the rocks or something.
Different movie, yeah.
Got old.
I got dead, man.
I got dead.
Look, I don't fucking know, man. I went to the beach and now I'm dead.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense, like scientifically.
How are you here to tell me this?
I don't know if I can tell you, man. I'm dead.
I'm dead.
I'm dead as shit.
Honestly relatable.
But this is a very Franken Fran opening because it's the shot of the beach and it's like a gorgeous natural location. You would think it the height of tourism, but no, it's closed to the public because once a class of girls came here and over 20 of them died.
At once.
Yes, cut to Fran and the crew in swim gear, and that's why we're here to investigate. But consider it a beach day, everybody. We're here to have fun. Fran, what do you consider a beach day to be? Don't worry about dying. It's a vacation.
Yeah. I love how they introduce our character, Shale-san, the nun from the Vatican, who is sent out to investigate occult matters on behalf of the Catholic Church.
It makes no sense why this woman would be here, but sure, yep.
And I love how Fran is just like, that's completely reasonable. So there's a bunch of ghost hands that drag people down to their death. Well, someone's going to need to swim out there and investigate. And it can't be me, because I don't want to. And it can't be Veronica, because she's too heavy. And none of my people are going to go. You're disposable. You go, Shale. What?
But her greatest complaint, though, is the fact that she has to put on a bathing suit, and she's like, I'm a nun.
Also, the fact that she puts on, like, essentially like a boy short version of a bikini is...
Yeah.
You think a nun would have a one piece?
Yeah, 100% have a one piece, especially in Japan. Like, come on.
But,
that's just what Fran brought.
It is, yeah. But she swims out into the water, has a vision of reaching from the ocean, and begins to sink as she's dragged down to the ocean floor. Fran watches her flail in the water before going, oh, she's drowning. Guys, get the boat.
Oh, she seems to be in distress of some kind.
Because Fran stopped watching her. Because, like,
100%.
Fran got bored.
She got distracted. But they save her. They take her to the lab. She's not dead, and she's full of neurotoxin. Did you guys see any jellyfish while you were out there? No. Well, set up the cameras.
It is important to note, they go to the beach lab. They had a lab constructed on this beach so that Fran can wear her bathing suit while doing lab work.
It's a still house on the beach with a
I'm
full
just
lab
saying,
in
if
it.
that's not status, I don't know what is.
I love it. I love
I
it
want
so
a lab
much.
on the beach.
I one day hope to be as extra as Fran, that I can just have a whole ass bespoke house made on the beach for my job. But the nun.
But yeah, we need to take water samples to figure out what's going on.
Yes. And as they take the water samples, they find that it's actually an extremely tiny jellyfish.
Very fragile.
Cute.
So fragile you could never hope to contain it in captivity. Meanwhile, here's the tank of them I have in captivity. Like,
how did you do that? Very carefully. Anyway, the point is that this is actually native to Australia, so I'm not really sure how it got here. But we're still working on figuring it out. The toxin's very dangerous. It's a very simple scientific explanation as to why those girls died. Probably a good idea that the government closed this place, actually. Oh, don't...
Meanwhile, Shale-san just looking deep into the eyes of this jellyfish as it's like, my God, they're human souls! This is the work of the devil! And then Fran, ever the scientist, goes, we should do some tests to see if this really is the work of the devil. Fran! Fran!
Yeah, okay, so I ran the tests, and the jellyfish are giving off signals. What do you mean they're giving off signals? I mean they're giving off little bits of waves.
Electrical information.
I've managed to translate some of them. Look, it's all the screams of dying people.
Yummy.
Why is this happening? I don't know,
but I've learned their language, so now I'm going to tell them to all congregate together into a single entity. Fran, why?
I'm pretty sure they were already trying to do that anyway.
Fran, I don't think that was true.
And then the big jellyfish appears.
Big jelly.
The colony brain jelly.
And Fran's like, quick, catch it. Build a new tank for it. I'm like, Fran, so you did this without having a tank for it?
Fran is very impulsive, if you didn't tell.
He didn't know how big it was supposed to be.
But they catch it, they put it in a big tank, and then Shale comes back with an old priest and a young priest.
It's just the Exorcist.
A good old priest, young priest, you know.
Like literally, the massive jellyfish just suddenly starts quoting scripture. Like,
yes. Like literally just it completely possessed.
My name is Legion. I know thy true form, Satan. And Fran sits on the sideline as the priest and the nun just start pouring holy water out of a fuel canister, blessed by the Pope's own hands.
Which seems to hurt it.
It does something. I don't know what, but it does something.
Fran seems to have gotten bored of this entire thing and is just reading a book.
Well, yeah, she's basically, electrical signals are what brainwaves are, and the jellyfish might be able to store them, which is probably how they're doing this. Anyway, I'm bored now. I'm gonna go.
So what you're saying is they've been picking up the brainwaves of the people that they've killed, so they're the gestalt souls of all the humans killed by these jellyfish? Probably. Anyway, they're wearing protective clothing, so they're not going to get hit by the neurotoxin. Let them have their fun. And
you do skim over the fact where Fran's just like, faced with the occult, all science can do is provide theories. And maybe the theory is they are demons. Fran, what the fuck?
I said what I said. I don't care.
I'm just saying, scientifically, I think that thing is Satan.
Why?
Fran, this is Fran going like, they are ruining my vacation with work. Do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care.
I already witnessed the second coming of Christ. I don't need to worry about this.
Meanwhile, now the Catholic Church is on a crusade against all jellyfish.
She starts a crusade against jellyfish. She's just stabbing a jellyfish on the cross, going, "Be gone, devil!"
I almost said something completely unrelated to the Catholic Church, but not really. So the next chapter happens.
Oh, who's ready for more Sentai?
Me.
Yay! The Vengeance arc. for the
we need
Sentinels.
The anti-hero Sentai.
Yes. Because you remember how Sentinel 2 started attacking charitable organizations. We join this in medias res as a building is being blown up, and a very main character looking guy, his mother and sister are killed in the attack, and so he goes to France seeking vengeance.
Sure, that seems like a thing I can do.
The Sentinel.
Actually, no, they give her a sob story and she's crying, saying, yes, of course, I'll do whatever it takes.
Yes, because the entire Sentinel victims unit comes together.
I was about to say, I'm not sure how much I trust these crocodile tears, because they do make a big case of the fact that they like begged for money in order to pay her exorbitant bill for this. Like, this isn't being done out of the goodness of her heart this time.
No, it's not enough romance. Avenging your family, that's emotional, but it's not romance.
If it's romance, she drops absolutely everything.
What a sad story. Of course I'll take your money.
So she does her most advanced superhuman procedure yet.
You'll be the strongest Sentinel yet, Fran says. Which, like, you would think that would raise some red flags for somebody, but I don't think they were there.
No. You'd also think that Fran would be like, no, actually, you wouldn't think that. It's Fran. Kidding.
Yeah. I like that while he's in the respiratory tank, he has a breathing tube attached to his junk that's identical to the one on his face.
Yes. It probably explains what's about to happen.
He got too much oxygen.
Too much oxygen to his cock. So he becomes Vengeance 3, the Sentinel.
His helmet has all the names of the people hurt by the first two Sentinels inscribed on it.
And so Sentinel 1 and Sentinel 2 have teamed up and are now going after charitable organizations together. And so he chases after them, engages them in a fight, and he's easily beating the crap out of them because he's a Primaris Space Marine and their firstborns. And right as he's about to finish them both off,
he finishes himself off.
He is incapacitated, not by their paltry attacks, but by the fact that he now has a raging Steffi. I almost didn't notice the panel of him getting the nosebleed. I thought it was him coughing up blood, like something Fran did went wrong.
I thought he had been damaged, which is what the other two Sentinels think happened.
But no, it's a nosebleed, as exemplified by him going, "What is wrong with my Johnson?" So he waddles away to go change his underwear, picks up a girl at the bar, can't get off this when he's with this hottie, until he gets into another fight, and then immediately creams his shorts again.
So, it's weird how multiple times he picks up women and then realizes he can't get it up.
Mm-hmm.
But he can only get it off when he's fighting for revenge. And he's so good at it that the other two Sentinels have decided that they are going to just lay low and let evil win for a little bit, as they're in like a coffee shop covered in bandages.
And he's like, no, I can't get it up if they're not killing people. So he leaks the location of his own base.
So that the Sentinels can go and murder all his friends and loved ones.
So that way he'll get a real good revenge going.
Yeah. And then it literally just ends with, I wonder what the fuck that was about. And Fran just going like, yeah, did you know vengeance has like a weird similarity to sexual pleasure? Seems like you could really form an unhealthy addiction to that. Whatever.
They say that, you know, love and hate are on the same side of opposite emotions.
Yeah. Both involve pounding.
Yep. That they do.
So the Sentinel situation continues to devolve. I can't wait for there to be 3 more of them so we can have the team in our 6th Ranger. What horrors will Fran inflict on the next set of them? Only time will tell.
On the next episode of Power Rangers Sentinel Body Horror or something, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm bored. I don't care.
So Fran's been very apathetic these past couple of chapters. Now Fran's just going to be the villain. Like that. She is just objectively the villain in this one. Like
she pretty much is, yeah. Because a guy comes to her a guy comes to her, and it opens up with her being like, brain transplants, huh? I mean, that doesn't really work. I heard that you did that before. Kinda?
That's what I mean by it doesn't really work.
Yeah. Anyway, you don't understand. I have a niece turning 10 this year. She got a shit ton of inheritance, and I want...
So the plan is to put your brain in her head.
Yes.
Was that always the plan, though?
He really kind of cuts off at the beginning of his story, and then we cut to him like
We cut to their accident,
We
which
cut
might
to
have changed.
Truckman.
Which might have changed things. I don't remember what the original plan was.
well, because we cut in medias res basically to the niece who is 10 years old receiving a phone call from her uncle to like, oh, we're gonna go have dinner? Sure. And she's been crying in her room. And basically, when they're in the car together, she goes, hey, so someone told me you went to go see a doctor to plot some kind of weird thing to steal the inheritance.
I don't steal the inheritance. Me never.
Well,
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay,
hey,
sure.
settle down. I actually kind of respect the game. Like, really, I appreciate you for doing that. Meanwhile, he's just like, oh no.
Oh no, she's a Code Geass character.
Actually, it's weirdly not related to them at all. It's a guy driving a semi-truck finds that his long-term partner has cheated on him yet again and veers into oncoming traffic. Like,
Yeah, it's Truck-kun.
They get truck-cunned. Who should they be brought to but Madaraki Fran? Why are you bringing me traffic accident victims? Well, one of the victims had your address in his wallet. Oh, it's that guy. Well, I suppose there's no time like the present. I'll do the thing he asked for.
Kind of.
well, it looks like she's brain dead, so
She's brain dead and his body is completely unusable due to burn damage. Hold on, I know what to do. And we cut to what appears to be the niece waking up. And Fran greets the uncle. Hello, Mr. Akira. What is going on? Well, you see, I couldn't actually fit your brain in her head because, you're a full adult. Why do I have this doll? Oh, be careful with that. Your brain's in it now. It's what? Yes, I put your brain in that doll and I linked it to the nervous column of the girl's body. So you're basically a disembodied consciousness puppeting your niece's, well, not really corpse, but anyway, have fun with that. You have the inheritance now. Yippee!
And now the uncle has to experience all of the things that the rest of the family was doing to this 10-year-old.
Yeah.
I love the existential crisis he has where he's in her just like, I got the thing that I wanted. I now have all the money. Except I'm not in my body anymore, so I can't go fooling around with hotties, gambling. I'm effectively dead, so I don't have any debts to pay off.
it's like he only watched the first third of Scarface. First, you get the money, and that's it.
And that's it. And that's it. And then
Swap bodies with my niece. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Profit.
Well, no, the profit's direct. It's
yes, profit, question mark, question mark, question mark. And the extended family continues to pester her because they're just a bunch of vultures who want money.
well, the mom mainly is like,
Yes.
hey, I also don't really care about you, and get rid of that teddy bear. It makes you look like a child.
Yeah.
And
Even though you're like 10. So.
I legit thought the plot point at this point in the reading was going to be she had already had her brain swapped.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's the uncle going like, oh, my niece has been dead for a while then. But no, it turns out the niece regains consciousness.
Because her brain was still inside her own head.
And they have like some telepathic, or is it telepathic?
Yeah,
Kind of.
Sure, why not?
him to her is definitely telepathic. I don't know about her to him.
Yeah.
Brain-to-brain communication, brain-to-brain conversation.
But it's like
Technically,
direct.
they're just thinking.
Yeah.
I
It's like, I don't even know if it's telepathic. They are connected now.
I would need the actual definition of telepathy to.
It's really
point out.
good. It's really, really good internet.
Well, yeah, because I mean, essentially, you already have the Ethernet cable. It's plugged in.
You're on land, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, I like the little heart-to-heart they have when they're just in her room and she's just like, yeah, no, mom's really not great. And the rest of the family is also kind of garbage. You're greedy, but like, that's only because you're broke and you like having a good time. The rest of these people just seem to desire money for its own sake, and that's a whole different type of monster.
Also, you've kind of really come around and empathized with me because, well, you've literally walked a mile in my shoes. I'm sure you didn't do that, but anyway, metaphorically, you come to sympathize with me, and he's like grown to be like, man, these people are assholes. Don't give them the money. I won't. Unfortunately, they're holding a big gala to try to get the money out of me.
Well, we'll have to go to the gala. I hope nothing happens.
Capitalist pigs!
Oh, shoot.
A communist suicide bomber.
I don't
attacks the gala.
It's weird because the way it's paneled makes it look like this guy he just stood up from sitting at a table with these people. Clearly he must have rushed in, but like the way it's paneled makes him look like, I am now revealing that I was a plant this entire time. The only man wearing 17 layers of clothing.
Yeah, he screams about how these capitalist pigs are a cancer on society. I will take you all with me. Kaboom!
And Sentinel-4 really went in a different direction.
And Fran's just like, what do you mean 24 bodies? Oh, hey, it's the entire Kuze family. Oh, hi, Shinon. Oh, wow, you've been having some bad luck, haven't you? Fran. Oh, Mr. Akira, you're still in there. You need to set her free. Save her.
Well, a request was made in my presence. Time to do that.
Well, that's consent to do whatever I feel like at this time.
We cut to Shinon waking up. It's like, where am I? Why is my body completely whole again? Oh, well, you see, you're cloned, but without a brain, so that I could put her brain in there and she could assume your life. What? That's not important right now. The important part is that you've got your own body and brain back. I think that first part's still really important. No, it's not. Don't worry about it. But what about Uncle Akira? Well, you see, cut to
all of the teddy bears.
All of the teddy bears with the cords feeding into her brain with her original body, a white-eyed mess. And Fran just being like, yeah, I didn't give any of them preeminence in this, so they have to agree with what to do. Otherwise, they can't lift a finger. Also, I left your Uncle Akira in there. He said it was about redemption or something. I don't know.
It's just weird because you'd already forgiven him you really didn't have any problem with him, so there's no forgiveness being sought here. I just felt like being evil at the end. Like, really, I set her free, which means I could do whatever the fuck I wanted with all the other bodies.
Yeah, you could have, Fran.
Like, we've established Fran knows how to save people from, like, situations like this in ways other than let's hook all their brains together.
So they have to become a gestalt mind.
She just chose to be evil. Like,
Fran woke up and chose violence that day.
Yeah,
I do think to some degree, like, the uncle was like still felt bad about it and was seeking penitence, so he didn't mind the fact that happened. But yeah,
I do like the setup for the clone body is not like a clone of the girl. It's like they say it's like made from the mother's egg cells, so essentially it's like another sibling of her. And what has happened is she has been placed in the family registry, or she's not in the family registry. She's kind of just like the inheritance is hers, but she's kind of like some unknown bastard sibling.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of like lucking into the inheritance. And that's specifically so her family can't be suicide bombed again. Like, yeah, she just really, for characters in a Franken Fran chapter, she the girl who was not that nice really turned out great.
Yeah, well, I mean, they already like hyper analyzed her and said, oh, she has that, she carries herself that way because she sees
she's a product of her environment.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about we have another Gavriel chapter?
Because we can't get enough of Gavril.
She's pretty great. I love the way this opens. It's Dr. Amatsuka getting a call. And it's just like, Gavril, one of Madaraki's creations? No, I just know Fran. Never heard of this Gavril girl. Click. Cut to Gavril. Who is that, old man? Some foreign intelligence agency looking for you. I gave him the same bullshit. That's pretty nice, you old man. But I don't need these checkups, right? Your body is highly unstable.
I'm highly unstable.
That's not what I... You know what?
I'm on this planet for a good time, not a long time.
I'm a super old man. I'm sick of friends and family dying on me. Don't care. Bye.
I'm gonna go murder government agents.
Well, that wasn't the original plan because...
It's not until Amatsuka leaves and the men in black show up to attack him. And he's just... It's like, you're gonna come on a walk with us. No, I'm not. Well, we're being coy, but we are ordering you. I don't care.
I have cameras.
And if you actually attack and kidnap me, I've got a GPS embedded in my body.
Sneak attack!
Ah!
I love how all the rest of them are like, why did you do that? That doesn't benefit us in any way.
He was being disrespectful. Shut the fuck up, Jimmy.
Yeah, now he has to go to a hospital.
Yeah. And I love poor Fran. She shows up. She's so worried for him.
Well, because this is like her father's gone, and this is the closest thing she has at the moment. So it's like
basically her uncle. Yeah, Fran shows up. She's all weepy. She's like, I can do surgery to make you young and strong again. I don't want to live any longer, Fran.
I'll make your dick bigger.
No.
No.
And while that's happening, Gavril gets word that Amatsuka was attacked, and despite pretending that she doesn't care, she's like, well, I'm going to go on a vengeance spree now. Later, losers.
And unlike Sentinel, I can't get a revenge boner. Gavril, how did you know that happened?
Because I have an intelligence network, which is how I figured out who was the ones going after Dr. Amatsuka.
This is my favorite, scene change.
Government.
A certain small U.S. city, an election campaign rally. like that's no establishing information.
She goes and attacks a candidate on the political trail, kills his ass. She leaves a message behind for Senator Barry, saying that he'll be next.
Not the Senator Barry.
Oh no,
the Senator Barry. So he goes to Fran, just like, you need to save me from Gavril. Huh?
Poor Senator Barry. I hope this doesn't hurt his presidential campaign.
Who's he up against? Some guy, Yamaoka?
Oh my god,
Weird.
I couldn't even.
Hey.
I would believe that Eagle would happen in the Franken Fran universe. How else would he have a stomach big enough to eat all 50 states if he had...
That's the body horror.
Oh my god. Dr. Madaraki found him in Vietnam, and it's just like, you need a stomach that can consume 50 states. Also, you need a penis that can have multiple mistresses and curses them all to die conveniently afterwards. What? Why? Nothing. But you've got to be in the 2008 presidential campaign. Because you need to get Senator Barry elected to president. Barry Obama.
Oh, no. But it's like, so how are we going to take out Gavril? I could have you send the army after her. That'd have too many bodies. We could nuke her? No, still too many bodies.
I love how Fran's just spitballing and says, like, I could nuke her. And, like, just the look on his face is like, no, that's not... just the stammering.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Like, I can't put into words why that's a bad idea.
And so it's like, well, then we're going to need an army, but we don't want to send out, like, an actual army. We need a way to throw bodies at her endlessly so that her impossible killing spree can be contained to one location.
Let me check my date planner. Have I horribly violated someone? Police girl hasn't been violated in a bit. Kidnap her.
That I know of.
This poor policewoman. Oh my god.
Literally just minding her own business.
Remember the last time we made her clone uncontrollably?
I really don't like the panel of her being grabbed where for some reason the sound effect they chose was prick.
Yeah, she almost definitely got jabbed with something to knock her out.
Yeah.
There's no rag there. She wasn't. But Fran's like, all right, time to begin the operation. What did you do? I gave her mitosis.
Again.
Why?
Because they can replicate faster than Gavril can kill them, theoretically.
And so Gavril is lured out onto an island that's just full of the mitosis clones of Police Girl as they begin to an army assault upon her.
Yeah. And
this is almost 100% not ethical. I'm just saying. Like, even if you want to stretch it and say, oh, they're just clones, I'm just like, nah.
No, literally none of this is in the least bit ethical. Honestly, nuking her probably would have been the better option.
Instead of killing a bunch of individuals, we're just cloning one individual bunch.
I love how Fran's plan is literally Zap Brannigan's. I'm sending wave after wave of my own men at them until she meets her preset kill limit.
Yes, that's
and is
literally
shut down.
Yeah, like her plan is, don't you understand? No matter how much she loves killing, all of nature's creatures, if they overindulge in a thing, will grow bored of it. So we're going to let her kill 1,000,000,000 billion police girls. Also, don't worry, the real one got sent home after I turned her mitosis off again. See, I'm a good person. That's really up for debate.
There is a fun bit at the end where Fran is like, oh, by the way, a friend of mine was assaulted recently, and if I found out who was responsible for that, I might have to do something about that. Sleep well.
Poor Police Girl is in the plane, hearing all this, having the exact same existential crisis she had last time this happened to her, leaving the island of the whole bunch of hers getting hideously scared.
Yeah, because Fran definitely didn't grab the original. She picked one at random to send home.
Yeah, no, you're right about that one.
So you remember those super intelligent cockroaches Fran made for some reason?
That nobody wanted or asked for? Yes. She made super intelligent cockroaches for some inexplicable reason. I sure hope they don't come up again.
They're back. Why are they back?
Antibiotics? She mentions at one point, but not really.
They're stealing resources, and they built a city.
Yes, they are stealing medicine from her laboratory. Veronica finds them. They attack Veronica, but because she is big and they are teeny, they cannot hurt. And as she begins slaughtering them, they offer truce. They have Cockroach City in the crawl space underneath Madaraki Manor.
And then Fran is forced into a peace negotiation with them.
Again.
She then argues that they are now claiming that they have rights to this sacred land. It has been in their family for generations. And Fran's just like, so you've been there a couple of years, I guess? Great. I'll sign a deal, but I guess I'm going to have to deal with this in another couple of years. Your grandchildren are going to be like, I don't like the deal of that peace treaty I signed. Geez, such whiners. And I'm like, Fran, I don't like the direction you're going, but fascism is a good color on you. So
Listen,
what side of the war was Madaraki on again?
It's very unclear. Axis power is almost certainly.
Given his last name, he's almost Japanese. He is Japanese, so
he's a war profiteer either way, I'm sure.
Yeah, but so they have a peace treaty. She's like, well, they're going to want to expand one way or another. How do we keep their population in check? And while Fran does that, Veronica goes and is taken on a tour by one of the cockroaches around the city.
Because they have superheroes.
They have Sentai.
They do.
Everything comes back to Sentai.
Deeply embedded in Japanese culture.
This chapter really kind of turns into like a history on how the hero genre evolved, because they find Cockroach Superman, and then they find that in a neighboring city, which that's broken the peace accord. So there is a dark city of night where there is Cockroach Batman.
Yes.
Love Cockroach Batman.
just singular heroes, the public grew bored of that. So now we have hero teams where they each have individual powers.
And the Justice League has to go fight the Apocalypse robot, as was foretold.
Yep. And also Cockroach Japan exists, where sometimes teams of superheroes form cockroach robots.
Indeed. And the one who had been escorting Veronica sees the Apocalypse robot show up and say, Veronica, you've been a great friend. I appreciated how large and black your coat is. I, G2, the last of Roachkind's hope, will go fight the big robot. And they have an Avengers Assemble moment.
But unfortunately, G2 falls in battle.
And Veronica goes to fight him to avenge his death. There's
Cut to Fran watching this on a monitor. Veronica, why are you breaking my murder robot?
Fran, why do you have a murder robot? Because distracting them with Sentai fights and superhero comics and apocalypses like this is the only way to prevent them from developing their technology enough to be an actual threat.
Fran, why can't we just call an exterminator?
Didn't they try that the first time?
Because we tried that and they invented nuclear bombs.
Not again.
Fran, why did you make them?
Legalize nuclear bombs.
Nobody asked for you to make them intelligent, Fran. If you literally just did not do that, none of these things would be happening.
But where would be the fun in that?
I don't know what you're getting at.
God damn it, Fran.
Not do?
So yes. Yes.
Yes.
And
yes.
Anyway, Ozempic, am I right?
That's mean.
So, Fran's back in school again.
For some reasons.
Yep. And is called to meet with a student who is a very, very lore girl.
To be fair, they do make it clear she's also just big boned.
Yes.
She's just a very big lady.
Yeah. They then backpedal on the initial thing they do really hard. So,
I want to be thin.
I mean,
have you tried?
I want to be a hot biker chick.
I heard you give out plastic surgery. Oh yeah, I can give you liposuction. That'd be real easy. No, I want it to be all natural. Why would you ask someone who's really good at plastic surgery to all naturally make you thin? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, you could diet and exercise. No, that's too much work. I don't know what you want.
I love how her response is, that won't work for me. What?
What?
Well, you could try just eating in moderation. No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay, so you want to lose weight naturally without needing to do any of the work yourself. Fine, I'll see what I can do.
Well,
so
there's a drug that someone invented that could cure your problem. The only problem is it's patented by Steve Jobs.
And while I'm willing to commit a lot of crimes, I'm not willing to commit patent fraud.
Who the hell is Steve Jobs?
Lick my balls.
Sam, that's really inappropriate to say on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Sam, I was going to save this to your quarterly review, but we've really been having some complaints from your coworkers about unwanted sexual advantages, and we're really just going to start talking about it right now.
So Fran ties two people together. Because, the way that this drug works is Fran's...
The first thing is it's a natural hormone that is out of balance.
Yes, Fran's hypothesis is that the big lady, she's got a hormone out of balance that's not causing her body to send the I'm full signal to cut off her appetite. Normally this drug would help with regulating that. Unfortunately, Evil Corporation won't let me have it. So I'm just going to tie your bloodstream to this boy who's got a regular amount of the hormone. I'm sorry, you did what? I didn't consent to this. And we'll see what happens over the next few days.
And it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. Because she eats the same as ever, and he feels no desire for food, so he withers away.
I love when they go to the checkup process. Fran's just like, oh, hey, I believe eventually you're going to get thinner if we keep up this treatment. And like immediately the girl's like, yeah, no, this isn't going to work. Cut him free.
And also the guy's screaming like, I will die.
Please, let me free. She's like, yeah.
Yeah, this did not work.
Okay, so we need to supply the protein to your body. Oh, wait, I'm getting called into a meeting with this CEO. Madaraki Fran. I see you've been doing experiments. Oh, yeah, I'm just doing some scientific research, trying to verify your results. It's all completely above board. Don't bullshit me. We have ways of finding out what you're doing, and I'm not going to let you infringe upon our patent. I'm trying to help an urgent patient. I don't care. Give me money. Okay. No. Well, I'm not going to do that. So instead, Veronica, sick 'em. Why am I doing the corporate espionage? Just go.
And
because
then,
you are small and sneaky.
Veronica then flies to America, does a cool heist, and comes back with the drug. Meanwhile, Fran's just rationalizing, yeah, it's corporate espionage and theft and probably a lot of other laws broken, but it's not like I'm doing it for profit.
I'm doing it out of the goodness of my heart. Yeah, it's charity work. So Fran gives the drug to the big girl, and she's like, "Oh, thank you for this. This is so great. You're such a big help." Well, I still feel a little conflicted about what happened, but oh, hey, why are people screaming my name? What's going on? Oh God, she's even bigger. She's still eating. What's happening? I feel nothing but hunger. That's the opposite of what I wanted. What the hell? Wait, it's nullifying the protein? Why? Oh,
it's a drug that makes you fatter? Why would they invent this?
Oh, crap, I'm getting another phone call. Mr. CEO, I see. You're experiencing a side effect. I have no idea what you're talking about. Stop bullshitting me. You stole the drugs, and now there's a side effect that you didn't expect. You swapped it, didn't you? I'm not admitting to that.
But anyway, don't do it again.
But why? Because we're not actually trying to help people. If we solve the obesity crisis, we can't sell obesity medication anymore. So we have the counter drug to then make people fat again and put them in an endless cycle. And the entire time that this is happening, cannibalism.
Again.
Trying to eat this man alive.
I know what you're thinking. Didn't the drug just make her fatter? It didn't give her the ability to unhinge her jaw or anything. Yeah, no, she chokes on this dude's head.
Yep.
Oh, time to resuscitate them.
And chapter end.
The chapter does end on Fran presumably being able to help them, but it's just such a weird ending for Franken Fran. It feels like they ran out of time.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, I liked the one panel before everything went off the rails where it's Fran just blushing and watching two teenagers hit on each other, and I'm like, Fran, do you just go to high school to deal with teenage love drama?
Yes.
Is this just your soaps?
Yes.
Fran, that's so unethical.
What's ethical? I've never heard that word before.
What is this? Yeah.
I don't know her.
Does she have a problem I can solve?
No, I don't think you should be around her at all, actually.
Yep. Speaking of solving problems, by the way, you remember how we left Gavril on that island of police girls?
Yeah, how's that going?
Well, they're currently having their Vietnam, holding out for supplies, but don't worry, they found love even on the battlefield. They're getting excited about getting a new shipment coming in.
It's going to be just in time because a new generation is mitoticizing, and we're gonna have
meat's back on the menu, boys.
We're gonna have a whole new wave of recruits. Oh no, the waves of recruits, they're all dead. She killed them all. Gods, why? No, you must hold strong, sister. Going to continue to fight. We'll hold out and defeat her one day.
And then all of this suffering will have been for something grand.
And this is all leading up to, in case you can't guess by our tones, the supply drop comes, and it is a nuke. They have decided to just nuke the island once they got bored of the plan. That was terrible. So, like,
And on the very last page of the volume, there is the smoking remains of the island. Actually, it's entirely gone. It's just the ocean. Gavriel pokes her head out and goes, "Whew, that was close. They didn't get enough megatons to take me down. Anyway, I'll just swim until I find land."
Wonder where I'll end up if I just keep swimming. The world's round, after all.
Great.
So Gavriel wins by default.
Victory Royale?
I lived, bitch.
This is literally just the Clone Wars.
Oh, I just noticed this, but on the back of volume 6, they have the manta ray from the Amazon.
The manta ray
that gave birth for the men, who is just briefly mentioned.
Amazing.
But yes, thus brings us to the end of our reading. Another wild and wacky trip into Franken Fran. So, favorite character and favorite case. I really liked Veronica. She had a great showing this time. Fran, as always, is hysterical, but Veronica, not exactly being the straight man, but being like
as close to one as this manga can have.
Exactly. She's like, "Fran, that's a ridiculous idea. I'm still going to do it, but it's a ridiculous idea."
Yeah. It's a shame Okita didn't get a lot of lines in this, because he normally actually just is the straight man.
Yeah, he really didn't show up much.
He was there with Veronica for a little bit, but that's about it.
He was mostly in the background. Like, he was physically present, but he said very little.
Indeed. But while Veronica at the school with the ghost stories was the funniest, I think my favorite of the stories overall was 24, the girl with the inheritance. That one was fun. It hit all the proper notes, and Fran was the most villainous in that one. Jake, how about you?
I really want to say Gavriel, but honestly, I don't think she showed up enough. I feel like Gavriel is a bit in the same position that Veronica was when she was introduced, where it's like, oh, I see my next new favorite character. I can't wait for her to be more prevalent.
Jacob, give in to your desires. Pick the blonde lesbian.
But yeah, I am actually going to go with Veronica just because she had more panel time and did more stuff. But yeah, I'm already calling it that my favorite character in our next reading of Franken Fran will be Gavriel.
Excellent.
As for favorite case, I really liked the mascot one.
But yeah, yep.
It's definitely very, very zombie coded, but it doesn't have the things in zombie fiction I hate, and it has a lot of elements of like monster movies. We got to get to the place to do the thing to stop the monster. Can't fight them directly. You have to be clever and creative about it, and just the way that it all played out. The most zombie it got was when the little boy turned into one of them after being bitten. Otherwise, it's basically just a monster flick, and I love those. So got to go with that one. Simple but well executed.
Nice. Jay, how about you?
I'll go out there and I'll say I really enjoyed Gavriel. She kicks ass and takes no names, and I think her concept is, while it's very simple, I think it's very interesting, and I thoroughly enjoy her as a character. Maybe not as a person, but as a character.
That's true for most of the characters in Franken Fran, I'm not gonna lie.
So my favorite case, this is a hard one because honestly, I was torn between the
Really?
absolute...
You like Sentinel-3?
No, please, no. I have to say, definitely would have to be the Amazons. Yeah, I would go with the Amazons.
Big fan of the manta ray, I see.
Yes, I am Team Manta Ray. No, we'll never. No.
Not after what they did to Steve Irwin.
That wasn't a Manta Ray.
Stingray.
The Stingray. You silly. They're different.
No, they're the same thing.
Anyway, Matt, how about you? Favorite character case?
I mean, how can I not pick Gavriel? I love Gavriel. She is great. She is just power lesbian, refuses to zip up her pants in any scene. Yelling at her sisters that they smell like old pussy. I like.
Maybe they do. Maybe she does this.
Fran does not bathe canonically, so that's not true. She's weirdly been in the bath of multiple scenes, but like. She's great. If I had to pick a favorite case, though, if the very ending case is really fun with the police girls getting nuked and then turning out that Gavriel wasn't killed by that, and she'll live forever. But no, I think I got it with Jacob. The evil mascots in the amusement park is really my favorite. I love any case where Fran really gets her just desserts for messing something up. And she made that evil mascot and then made an entire organization of evil mascots. Really just, she can't do anything right and is constantly making the world a worse place.
Yes, and it's great. All right. And I mean, it's a Franken Fran. We got all the other discussion out of the way, so let's right to would you continue reading? Absolutely. I love Franken Fran. This is a wonderful Halloween tradition to have here on the show. I think I might need it. I think I might need another year-long break though after last time. I love some good body horror, but this is a pretty hefty dose of it to take all at once.
Franken Fran is also very like each chapter is a contained case, which for our reading really does make it stretched out.
Yeah, it starts to drag a little bit in that regard.
Well, that's on you. This is amazing, Sam. Yeah. I will say we're coming up on the end. We've only got another 2 volumes.
Oh, nice. Soon then.
Yes. Soon with the biggest quotation marks.
Yes.
1 year. No Franken Fran, 1 year.
Unless we decide to do something else next Halloween, then like we did last Halloween.
How about the rest of y'all? Matt, would you continue reading?
100%. I love Franken Fran. I've also read past this, and I really should get back to Frantic. I have to be in a mood for Franken Fran, and it is that time of the year, so maybe I will.
Indeed. Jay, how about you?
Oh, absolutely. I similarly have read past this point, and this is a habitual revisit for me. I love Franken Fran. It's my jam. All
right, and Jacob.
Yeah, as I mentioned at the top of the show, this is a great Halloween tradition, but it's sort of like you kind of need to be in the frame of mind for it. If you marathon read it, it can... There's a level of repetition that the chunks that we do are just right for a good long time. So love when this time of year comes around, and even if we didn't do the podcast, I'd still have this as a Halloween tradition.
All right, and thank you everybody once again for tuning into the Over Manga Cast. As always, you can find us on all your social media at Over Manga Cast.
You can also find us on YouTube, where you can like, comment, and subscribe. Those episodes go up on a 2-week delay, so if you want to keep up on our up-to-date episodes, you you can head over to
die of miner's cough.
You can head over to overmangacast.com. It has A comment section.
Oh, yeah. Shit, he's transforming. Matt, wrap it up. I'll get the
Yeah. As always, we appreciate reviews in any and all forms. And it looks like if you want to send us money, we're going to need them for Jacob's hospital bills. We're not going to pay him, but, we'll raise money and then spend it on other things.
Maybe we'll put him in a zoo.
Ooh, a human zoo even. But you can reach us over mongcast@gmail.com or, wherever you want. We take recommendations, not during theme months, though, because Halloween, and then we've got No Read November coming up because we make terrible decisions. Speaking of making terrible decisions, Sam, what are we reading next week?
Back, down, dip, PTSD Radio. We're reading PTSD Radio, volumes 1 and 2 next week.
Oh, Jesus. Where are we going to hide a body that big? Oh, it's still recording. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Oh, God, he got Sam.